I'm really glad to be here. I've definitely been appreciating what Tekken Underground has been doing, definitely with just putting some care into the final product, not that it's a product that you guys are making any money off, but
Mhm.
yeah, just the look and the music and, just trying to do something other than just be someone else's lunch. And And yeah, no, when I first saw you guys just doing high level Tekken 3 with this hardcore house playing, and I thought, oh, this is something different. I want to connect with you guys. And yeah,
Mm.
about the time that Ren, came out with the Arcadesia GGPO, and you guys started doing tag, that was really exciting for me. And yeah, I loved the restream from what I caught of it of the Strawberry versus India
Yeah,
tournament.
that shit was kind of exciting. We had India come into the chat and they were like, "Oh shit, you're restreaming the tournament." At first I thought that the tournament was live, but they mentioned that it was a recording. But the way they put it together was still kind of heart-pounding. It's still astonishing to see that it was a Strawberry and his friend like just went all the way over to India. That man is crazy. I mean, that motherfucker will go all the way over to India just to play. He's definitely committed to tag. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really amazing that he's kind of like, it's kind of like the Highlander or something like that. He's gonna just go around and
Mhm.
make people show their mettle, show their skills. Um, yeah, and he went to Peru. Who was the guy who went with Strawberry? There's another guy who went with Strawberry, but they went to Peru. This was like, I think it was 2020.
Mhm.
Um, it was like right when the U.S. elections were happening.
Yeah.
Not that we need to get into that, obviously, but that was happening at the same time that Strawberry went to Peru. And they definitely had the edge on him the first time he went. And for his second trip back, he won the tournament that they did. I think the census is that he had gotten a lot better and was kind of one upping most of them. He did lose a big first to 15, I think it was, to a Chang's player named Elmer. Elmer. I
Mhm.
think that was his only straight up loss. And there was a guy Mysterio. I don't know if any of the viewers have heard of Mysterio, but he
I've never
is a
heard of
Jack
Mysterio before.
player. Ogres, a lot of the people in Peru and Korea now are saying that they, in their opinion, Ogre and Devil is the best team.
Mhm.
And that's different from back in the day. It was just kind of obvious that it was Jin and Kazuya or Jin and Devil, but the health and the wake up and all this. But yeah, anyway, Mysterio did lose a big Jack set, but he won some big decisive first to 15.
Mhm.
Anyway, there were awesome sets. I think it's all on their Arcade Love Fish X channel for people to check out. And now, Strawberry, I chatted with him after the India tournament, and he says that India is the best tag in the world right now.
I mean, I have no doubt. You said he's the best tag in the world right now. I mean, I have no doubt about it. Even copping a look at their fucking Tekken 3 footage, they're absolutely committed. I mean, the fact that it's an offline scene makes it even better too. I mean, we've got a couple of, like a handful of Indian Tekken 3 players on Arcadesia, but the fact that they meet up in the venue, uh, I even heard some stories. I think I talked about them on the restream about they had like a shakedown from the cops because they were doing money matches and apparently that's illegal in India because it counts as gambling. They had to bribe themselves out of jail. So anytime that they hold like any competition or if it has to do with money, it has to be like completely hushed. If somebody snitches, the authorities will actually
Yeah,
raid. You
they're
want to talk about
they
an
are the
underground scene?
underground.
That's an
Yeah,
underground scene.
yeah.
That's motherfucking underground Tekken. And I want to try to reach out to them a little bit more. It's difficult for me to get footage of them because of the distance. I can't really play with them all too much. At least interactions with them in the underground. Hopefully, I'll be able to establish a good connection over Duck Station traversal. Like direct connections, we'll probably be able to get, because I mean, I fought Farhan before, and that was a really nice set. Played some kick-ass Goa trans for that set too.
Delay Jin, who is he?
He's Jin Heihachi. I have him added on WhatsApp, and I might contact him again later just to see what he's up to. But apparently there are a couple of Tekken 3 communities, just kind of like there are a couple of Tekken 3 communities in Peru. There's like this loose network of small communities. And that was the thing that like got my attention, because I'm just like, this is old school as fuck. But it's not just one small niche either. It's like you get these small communities, this network of small communities that interact with each other. Sometimes they meet up or travel to play each other, but they're regional. So, I mean, these games are just, the staying power is unreal. And the fact that it stays that way in these like, these are like third and second world countries that will, and they'll play it in like the most podunk areas. You'll see everybody's broke a ship, and there's like one or two arcade cabinets there.
Yeah, there was a Peru stream that was an arcade machine under like a bridge, basically. It was under like a train or subway overpass.
That is cool as fuck.
It was an outdoor tag machine. Yeah, and you know, the level of their play. You know, I mean, KOF, you know, was a big thing in Central and South America. So, you know, I mean, it's interesting. I think there is like a communal cultural piece to these other societies that really cherish games that were made to a different standard, you know, games that were made to be played in real life, and games that had a pretty severe initiation, you know, that was long in its duration. So anyway, I just say that, you know, they kind of need just Tekken, any fighting game needs a strong community in order to justify the level of dedication that it takes, you know? So, you know, a lot of people in America would love to play Tag or Tekken 3 in person if there was a scene, you know, but the scenes just aren't there. But you know, I don't know what it is, you know? Yeah, definitely. I think it's the gift and the curse of sort of getting this technological industrial, I don't want to say backwash, you know, but just sort of this stuff that in America, right, or Europe or whatever, these countries that are more, you know, sort of traveling at the speed of commerce, or however you want to say it. You know, this stuff just got phased out for these more sensationalistic identity configurations, you know, with the newer Tekkens. So yeah, agree. But you know, it was cheaper to buy these old games, and yeah, you know, people would congregate and attain a level of mastery that in itself, I don't think any of this stuff just accounts for the level of mastery that these guys have reached in India or Peru or, you know, Korea. That's kind of, we know the deal with Korea, right?
Yeah.
Korea and Japan.
I mean, yeah, Korea and Japan they've been notorious because, I mean, they're basically the two home bases for the series. The first two to get the the games, and East Asia is generally the culture from which is kind of like want for fighting games of this caliber sprung. But when you, for lack of commerce and affordability for these games, you find them in pockets of like second world countries, and they're going hard as fuck on the game. And yeah, of course, attaining just this level of mastery that is, it's mind-boggling and continues to evolve. I mean, some of the meta, I'll watch matches and find out new shit. And, I mean, the games are old, but people are still doing. There's like mind-boggling new meta that'll come out with it that was just not even discovered at the time native to the game, because, you know, there wasn't the time to commit to it. And unfortunately, here in the States and in the Western world broadly, our obsession with novelty and dwindling social culture has pushed away this kind of scene, you know, especially like arcade scenes where you can meet other people and actually play these games. We also like lack of public transportation too, so getting to each other now is not only
Right.
is it, you know, less convenient sometimes, now it costs more because, you know, our gas is sky high over here. I don't know about anywhere else, but I mean, it sucks. We're poor, you know, we're kind of broke now, so we're stuck in this like weird area where we're lacking all the social accoutrements and gathering spots that we used to frequent are now drying up, and we're basically kind of stuck with a couple screens at home, and no time, you know, kind of overworked too, so like no time to really invite anybody, no time really to be totally social. It is just it's a fucking shame, you know, what's happened to the
No,
offline
I mean
Tekken
it's
scene.
it's no,
Total shame.
definitely. I mean, I think the upside to that is that just with the internet, you know, in the US, you know, we can meet people. You know, I met
Yeah.
you guys, and you know, I was selling just this big box of Tekken Tag VHS tapes, just that we Tekken Tag Boston, we just record all of our sessions on VHS tapes just to sort of have it on deck
Mhm.
for a video project in case we need something.
Yeah.
So, you know, over the past number of years, I had like 50, 60 tapes just in two big boxes, and kind of I had to clear out space.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was posting up in, I think it was the Lee Chow Lan, kind of like this tech and shit posting group. You know, you kind of get some interesting stuff in there sometimes.
Yeah.
And a guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm interested," and he lives 3 blocks away from me. You know, which was
Mhm.
just crazy. So yeah, I had been playing tag with this dude a little bit, who lives right in my town, and yeah, I sold him the box of 60 tapes for like $5. You know, I just was glad someone wanted the tapes.
Mhm.
But yeah, you know, I mean, kind of the interesting pigeonhole that we're in. You know, I think what I see that I like about Tekken Underground and sort of some of what we want to do with Tekken Tag Boston is having a artistic product that is able to just speak to where we're at, and I think give people a sense of maybe how to appreciate these games, or if there's a little bit of satire, you know, when our game's going too far with, you know, for example, like, you know, how Lee needs to have these capes and cloaks that, you know, each it's like an IMAX movie in itself, just looking at Lee's costume, you know, just that there's just something I think about that that's grotesque and funny.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, I think the grotesque and funny aspects of is, you know, for example, what we did with Arcane video, which you saw.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no, I think that is really speaks to where American Tekken players are at. And,
Mhm.
you know, I don't want to build it up too much, but I think it's the opposition that creates all the buildup of like, you know, the extreme allergy to anyone doing something that's, you know, God forbid, anti-commercial.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally agree. Not only that too, but it's like you keep getting all of these. It's kind of like how we treated postmodernists at the time back in our day. There's this
Yeah.
new like you get these new postmodernists, and there's this new designation of time. Ergo, that means that we have to do things totally differently. It's like who said? There's nobody who said, you know, for having fun doing the same things that we've been doing, and we can find new ways to repurpose what we've done. I'm tired of this like what is it? There's this like compulsion to treat the desire for continuity with things from the past. It's not even that, oh, they say you're dwelling in the, no, you're not dwelling in the past. You can repurpose what you've had before and make something new. Just like we used to cut up old cloths to make a
Yeah.
quilt or whatever the fuck, or you know, stitch to jeans. Do something fun with things that still evoke joy. You know, I just consider Tekken Underground to be a continuity of the things that we were doing before. And we're stepping, you know, we can view it from a different angle in a different light. And it's, it's bringing some very profound emotions out for many people. It's drawing people from around the world. I mean, even the discourse are still blowing up right now. You get like 150 new members over the last 5 days. You know, it's very crazy, like how passionate people have gotten
Wow.
about it, and it's also been a window into my creative soul. Like I said, like I told you, I never thought Tekken would be like the lens that I could focus everything in, but it it just kind of came right out. And I think it was something like not only that, seeing your work, which of course the match set, which we'll get into in a moment, you were already tapping into this. This is something that you already knew. You were already deeply aware of the kind of, like I said, almost psycho spiritual meditative connection in that Tekken's immersion seems to, there's like a thread of it. And I wanted to take that and wind it up as thick as possible. You know, I wanted it to be as palpable as possible. When I put Tekken Underground's aesthetics together, of course, it started out very experimentally, and it still kind of is. You know, I just kind of let it take me where it wants me to go. People come by and they suggest things, or you know, they show me pictures of shit, and they're like, "What if it looked like this?" So I have this whole like,
Yeah.
pool of life that keeps like pushing shit into the mix, and I feel like I'm just this vessel for like all of this different kinds of imagery and feelings and suggestions. But you obviously, you know, you're drawn to the core component of Tekken Underground's aesthetic, is this very liminal thing that I think we could see, especially in like Tekken 2's design, is it's there, and it's
Right.
something that people put their thumb on. And while it's so funny because it doesn't really dominate the entire game, but it's there just enough to leave that impression. And so I wanted to pull that out and be like, you know what, like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to take this and run with it. It'll
That's
be
right.
a path working tool.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy to overlook that.
It's very easy to overlook it, and I think that Tekken team shenanigans have sorely overlooked all of these positive features about the game's early design. Sorely overlooked it. See if I can get you back on the screen and get everything rolling again. We're dealing with a bit of a
There we go.
botch setup. As a matter of fact, hang on, because it froze our feed, unfortunately.
You know,
you may have to be consigned to voice, because it seems the Mothership has a bit of
Why don't we do that? And I can take off, you know, my winter hat.
The Mothership has a bit of a glitch where I can't seem to feature two browser sessions at the same time, or two Windows sessions at the same time, which is unfortunate. But we have got to get into this very wonderful set. And one of the things I want you guys to know is that this is something that Mandarin has. I mean, he posted this 5 years ago. Okay, and this is just a fucking masterpiece. Did the music for this set too? Did you do this live? I mean, obviously after you recorded the match, so you just watched the match and vibed with what was going on screen, kind of like mixed together the music to put to the footage.
Yeah, no, we did this all live. You know, and that's part of a electronic music collective that I'm part of called Tuesday Never Comes. That does improv electronic music, kind of with an industrial pop kind of psychedelic orientation to it. But you know, I can talk more about Tuesday Never Comes and you know, anytime. But basically we have the, you know, facility to do a live scoring for something like this. And basically I started it with it all on VHS, and digitized it, put it back onto VHS, and then sampled that live through you know, just it was a electro-harmonic sampling device.
I'm over here thinking, why can't I like live near you? Because if I were next door, the kinds of shit that we would make, like it would never end. Like, we would be creating shit like all the fucking time. The fact that, and like I said, guys, like this is you were already onto this. That's what I mean. Is the second that I saw this, it dug right to my bones. It dug right to my bones. Like, and I know that you've been itching to do more, but what you've done already paints the picture. Like, it already takes you there. Immediately, I knew what I was looking at. And of course, outline for this: player 1, player 2.
Yep. So I am. We had said it in the beginning, but yeah, I'm Jin and Brian, and but yeah, this is Mr. Choi. He's going by Slave or Slave Choi now. He used to go by Nana, but yeah, this guy visited us and did this whole set. This is him doing that Wang stuff right now.
I was about to say, I guess Mr. Choi is Wang Brian. And I've heard of Mr. Choi. I believe he was also on TZ forums for a time too. And the thing is that this was just 5 years ago. This was back in 2020. You guys are fucking rocking this shit. Still.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a young guy. When we recorded this, he was like 26 or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if people saw that. That just was some nice tech he did. He did the waning moon tagged into Brian's forward 1+2 into a back throw.
Yeah, the movement is also fucking insane. So wait a minute, I'd heard of Mr. Choi, but I thought Mr. Choi was I know Kane's an old one. Yeah, you showed me that footage with Kane.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Choi, he's young.
He's young. He won a online tournament against Suwan.
I see.
Gang Suwan, I think's his name.
We have
Suwan, the old school ogre player. But yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, he basically told me he thinks Strawberry's the best over there right now. But yeah, he didn't use his ogres too much against. He actually didn't use ogres against me. I felt like it was like he was almost being chivalrous because I picked him and his girlfriend up from the airport and brought them food and stuff. And
so he's trying to give you a little bit of a fair fight by not picking ogres.
Using style characters against me. But he pulled out ogres. We had some of that in the intro. He just was just tech catching perpetually with the ogres and stuff. But yeah, his ogres.
I mean, the execution is astonishing. I need to get. Man, if we could get him also on Arca, that would be great because I would like him. We have a young player who, I mean, he's just absolutely astonishing. He's only 18 years old. Phaser. You've probably seen footage of me doing tag sets with him. I mean, he already plays like a veteran player. Yeah, he plays Mishimas. Sometimes he'll pick Kazuya Bruce, but he's still learning the game, but the level of execution is just excellent. Really excellent. And he's impressed a lot of people, a lot of old heads in the server with his gameplay.
No, I mean, Kazuya Bruce, that's like a team that is serious. And if you go to a tournament, you're going to have to face that team. Yeah, you could face a player who's not even as good as you, and if they're using that team, like, you're in trouble.
Oswald says, "Let's go. Hello, boys from Vegas. Hey, what's up, bro?" And Phaser is in the chat. I see y'all in the chat.
What's up, Phaser? Yeah, I definitely appreciate your stuff.
Yeah, we love you, Phaser.
I heard you talking about Julia the other day, which I really appreciated. In tag, saying that she's like been castrated. I totally
I can't stand her, and it's mostly me, not her, because I don't have the fucking execution for the damn elbows.
That's right. No, you did say that. You said you feel like you're castrated.
Yeah, totally.
No, I mean, the deal with Julia, this is why I use Michelle. So, for one, her lightning bolt or whatever her rapid combo thing is, you're at a frame disadvantage on a hit from them. So, basically doing that in combos, it's almost like a just frame. It eats inputs, is what I'm trying to say. Third shotgun eats inputs, so it's like really, really hard to do an elbow after in a combo.
Well, I mean, I've seen you do shotguns in between shotguns in between elbows. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, like that's way over my head.
R.I.P. to Flips, an incredible American player who passed away.
Rest in peace, Flips.
Earlier, incredible player. Definitely huge loss to the Tekken scene, but yeah, he used Julia and Eddie, and I just recommend anyone check out some of Flips' matches from the old Evos that he did. But yeah, he will do the lightning bolt into elbows just like it's nothing.
Yeah, I've seen that footage, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it was unreal.
It's kind of a usable way if you just do one of her big launches and then do the wall running one, which gives you the lightning, shotgun. And then you do have this little window where you can get an elbow in after that, and it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I don't switch back to lightning bolts with her. Another problem with Julia's elbow is that when you do a big delayed input, if you do forward with a large neutral, then hit one, you get a different elbow that you're completely locked up after it.
That's the thing that always gets me with Julia. It's like if you do hard forward one, then you get locked out at the end. It has to be like soft forward one and consecutive. So trying to do that without fucking up, and couple that with the fact that like I'll be playing online, it's difficult for me to. In better connections, I'll try for it and it'll hit. But I miss like in Tekken 3 when you're playing Julia, it's just shotgun 2, forward 1 and if you get the down forward 2-1, you can do shotgun 2 1 shotgun 2. Like it's so beautiful, it's delicious, but the fucking shotgun 2 pushes them all the way back in Tag 1, and I'm just like, it ruins the flow of things. Like I want that level of execution to me is like just fine, but like the elbow, and when you hit somebody with it, it's fucking hilarious. It looks stupid as shit.
I mean, you might like Michelle, she has low health, problem.
Yeah, she's got low HP, and sidestep 3/4 ass cheeks. I can never. The 4 always rips.
It's really good.
You think so?
It's not easy. It's not easy to use, but it's if you use it off a sidestep right, that really helps.
I can try to give it a shot. I definitely need to study it because tag is not. I got the Ana for it, but it's definitely not my game. It's like for me, it's 3 and DR. That it's like I'm very strong in those games. Tag is I'm gonna need a bit of a lesson. I know all the fundamentals for the game, and I can play it at a fairly high level. But so if I'm gonna fight, imagine if I fought Mr. Choi, I'm gonna get screwed. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I've seen your Ana and Nina. It's really good.
The execution is just absolutely fucking beautiful on screen. Like this is that kind of shit too that you needed to be around veteran players in order to kind of see the same gameplay. There was I watched some like obscure tournament footage. I can't remember who fought like Ryan Hart, and it was as late as 2005. This Xiao Yu player was just unbelievable. He played like AC Xiao. He just dodged fucking everything. Incredible. Like you couldn't hit the bitch. The bitch was unhittable, and Ryan Hart got demolished. But back then it was so much more exciting because you would have these players, which to you they would be like a nobody, and they would just come right the fuck out of the woodwork and just wreck people, and they could disappear tomorrow. You'd have these like these traveling Tekken players, kind of like Strawberry, but they're in the alleys of the arcade scene. They could be in one region one day and another region the next. And they would just show up, and just absolutely rape somebody, and just ruin you, and then be gone. Just be completely gone.
At this time, Zhao or Law, you could be a real stylist with that character, and it meant something. And that's why I like Michelle too. All 3 of these characters have low health. That we're talking about here, but they have crazy juice, and if you can just get it consistent enough and just have the right spacing, know their stuff. You probably have to figure it out yourself or just talk to more obscure players. June is like that too. People don't know what they're facing with these characters, and those are really stylist, I think, is the right word for it, because listen, I always say this, play whatever Tekken you want to play. If people want to play the newer Tekkens and they're fulfilled with that, I don't have a whole lot to say about that, as long as people aren't just trying to shut down other things, such as older Tekkens that are better.
I don't mind if people want to play as Tekken 8, go ahead and play the game, but it's like there is no reason to move on from these games. Like I said, when they evoke so much joy, when they are so much fun, and like in Phaser's case too, he started with Tekken 8 and thought it was dog shit. He came to us, and he's been stuck here ever since. And like I said, it gets completely along with old Tekken players, and you're not too young to play these games. This isn't some kind of like pretentious, Tekken for me, not for thee. Like, no, you're never too young to do this. And I mean, if you like playing Tekken 8, that's fine. But if you get tired of the rage and the novelty, I guarantee you these games will have a lot more passion for you. And they're easy to learn, and the extent of the sophistication depends upon your mind. Even the set we're watching right now is an excellent example of how the meta for these games can turn so quickly into something phenomenal, especially with the reaction time for these players and the layers and mix-ups that are coming.
I just don't find that a Law player, or Shadow U player, or a June player, Michelle's not even in it anymore, but, it doesn't have the same feeling that someone is, innovating, or that they've been able to excel with an offbeat character. I'm sure you probably talked about this on your show before, but I think basically with all the market testing and just the OD on fan feedback, that's fine. People who maybe aren't game designers, maybe they really, really, really just want to win personally. We just see Kuma has the health sweep now, or, Law has normal health. It's kind of like everybody has the same 50-50s now. But back at this time, for someone to show up and beat, or that might have been Ken Group, I don't know if it was kind of Shadow U and King player, but that was something, that there was a game that was so popular and so universal that was as good as that, and that was a thing anymore. That's part of why I like to use Angel. She's a little bit smaller than Double. She has like one combo that she can do that he can't. It's not even that good. It's just twin pistons into the up forward, 1+2 laser. Gives a good wake up. But she's smaller. So juggles will whiff against her more. She can get Netflix. She can get anger.
Really? I didn't even know that her hitbox will adjust for juggles, or her hurt box. It's very interesting.
Yep. Yeah. She her twin pistons are just very tiny.
But these intricacies matter too by making the game more interesting in general, because even as a spectator, you're going to have to watch different interactions transpire on the screen when things are not standardized. Like this, juggles have to change. The way that your toolkit has to change to fight certain characters, because certain characters just don't have these vulnerabilities. But when you get these systematized consistencies between characters, it kind of makes it's like you're picking cones. Which the irony is like from Tekken's 1 and 2, it started out by we had these clone characters that were just separate enough to be considered distinct, and especially by design. And like now, it's like everybody is becoming a clone, and TA they're becoming like this mechanics clone,
But they look different. That's the crazy thing. They look different, and they kind of stopped having, they gave. I'm not even saying this is the worst thing. They gave Anna a different looking one. like 5 VR or something.
Mm.
Which is fine, but it's kind of like, why did they really have to do that? It was just the insecurity of being a clone character, I guess. But, back in the day, a clone character was a really, really cool thing. You beat it with one character and then unlocks the clone. That was like really hard.
I also feel like the actual like personalities and identities and Tekken characters, just from like a purely aesthetic point of view, have become these very stale. It's almost like they're stale fantasy characters.
Yeah.
When we kind of had, in the mid to late '90s, between this culture of self-discovery, most of it for the right reasons, some of it for the wrong reasons. This heavily this allure of esotericism and astrology, this association of favorite color, even with personality. Games like Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 had this kind of alter ego atmosphere behind them, where sometimes the character you were picking because it was some kind of mental projection of your personality. In Tekken 3, we kind of get that vibe with the characters, whereas like in not only was the storyline just completely reduced to rubble by the time Tekken 4 and 5 like came on the scene and started to turn into unholy ass. Tekken 4 presented it very well. Aesthetically, it presented that storyline very well. But by the time Tekken 5 was on the scene, it was just like, damn, this story is like shit in the bed. Tekken 6 tried to polish it up a bit too. It sort of worked. It was done beautifully. But by the time we get to Tekken 7 or 8, it almost feels like the characters have lost that alter ego relatability. I mean, about the only thing that we could really think of is like, Mishima like cool edge words, like, I want to play machines because I'm cool, but it seemed a bit deeper than that between Tekken 2, 3 and Tag. It seemed like you were playing with a personality.
It's like, I think on the most important level, when the form of the characters were lost. In sort of this mad dash or market share or just the perverse realism. The cultural form is just the form period were lost, in terms of like just how Kazuya used to look, or even just, how what a weird edgy character Jin was in Tekken 3.
Yeah.
Like the Raver pants, and like, he was opposite, Eddie with the eyebrow ring, Eddie just looked crazy back then. But, Jin was like, he was the voice of, I think, a generation, kind of this ascendant millennial generation.
Yeah.
People who felt they weren't getting enough recognition.
Oh no, I totally agree. I mean, I think that, because like when I see Jin's cinematic displays, his outfits and everything between Tekken 3 and Tekken 4, I think that he was totally perfectly placed. It doesn't seem to be anything inauthentic about its representation. It starts to go off the deep end, like in 5 and 6, until it becomes just abysmally null. But in the previous games, it looks perfectly at home. I think it's totally fine, and Tekken's general back alley atmosphere too is a reflection of the culture that permeated the world, our world at the time. So, like this.
It's such a monumental task to just have these franchises going for decades and have it remain cool. Just like we were talking about with the lyric, before the show.
Yeah.
It's just too much to ask. And, and Bill Lee had so much more autonomy than Harada. Harada felt, I think he said he got paralyzed on half his body when the response to Tekken 4, maybe he lost a bunch of hair. He was just devastated that people hated Tekken 4. He put so much into Tekken 4. And, he resents Tekken Tag, in my sense. Maybe he doesn't, Harada somehow listens to this, that would be amazing, But
I think that hopefully he should. I mean, maybe one day we'll get through to him. I mean, I've been thinking of doing some campaigns actually targeted at Harada, be like, hey, you need to come talk to us. There's stuff we got to talk about. I don't know. He follows along the line of I mean, we mentioned prior, we talked about this a little before the show, about how you've had millennials and Gen Xers, older millennials and Gen Xers, who have basically sold out their authenticity because the world has, reduced it to rubble. Whether it's been in the form of rampant atheism or this new kind of profilically targeted consumerism, they think that, because what they've been passionate about didn't get them to make it in quotation marks. They need to drop it altogether. It's old news. It was a fake news, which is just, to me, is just, it's fucking ridiculous. It's part of the reason why we're getting so much trash art right now, because we're getting productions that are aimed at metrics. They're attention grabbers.
Right.
They're not representations of the soul.
Sorry to cut you. No, I totally feel that. You might be familiar a little bit. Some people might be familiar with Immanuel Kant. He's not like my favorite person, but he did say that when art fails to pass through the subject, that when an artistic product is revealed or produced, but it does not actually contain or reflect subjective experience or subjective meditation, it is going to be something evil.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's
evil to the extent that it looks
it's an aberration.
It be something it's not.
Yeah.
If it was just like some a coach telling people how to do an exercise that'll target their triceps, that's not what I mean. But if it's something that appears to be subjective awareness but isn't, that's something that's going to corrupt people's ability to just get a breath of fresh air from their life, and that's yes, I get it. We're kind of talking about this aesthetic dimension to a video game that I think that might be a lot for people to swallow, but it's just a nice thing to look at.
Well, I mean, we mentioned a bit of this. We mentioned a bit of this before too. When we were talking about how, like, for example, how well Jin's character design fit in Tekken 3 and Tekken 4. It's the authenticity component is what keeps making it cool. Okay, it's because these things were authentically designed, because they were developed as extensions. We talked about before the show how it seems pretty clear that the people who were producing Tekken soundtrack were obviously frequenting the rave scene at the time, because the music encapsulates it so perfectly.
Yeah.
They knew they weren't trying to develop some kind of generic version of something that they heard. They were invested in the art they were producing outside of Tekken. So it's that much, to me, seems to be very clear that the things that are coming through the mind were attached to this kind of like, not only this kind of like cultural egregore that was permeating at the time, but they were attached to a traditional sense of the arts, insofar as the arts had to be sincere in a living, some kind of like living embodiment, some kind of physical embodiment of the death of the artist. So the companies that would design these games back then too were people who would meet in these like office buildings, and it didn't have like this sterile boardroom culture. I think I read that when Tekken was being developed for like 1 and 2, they were like oftentimes sleeping in the office and shit like that, unkempt, haven't showered.
Yeah.
It's just all this raw passion and drive and butting heads.
Oh, I know. I mean,
seeing what fucking works. Like, there wasn't
I
corporate sterility.
No, I mean, I think there's a broader mood of just like the death of the culture there, and that's something that I think can be there for people to think about. But maybe I should say, on a more just like immediate level, back in the 90s, there just was money for people to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You could crash out and have this pizza party for a week long in an office, and you could be accessing something that was meaningful and was going to be remembered for decades. And it was like an improvement on manga. It was like an improvement on action movies or comic books. and you could make money. You wouldn't just be, like a millennial, or, I think a lot of Gen Zs are just kind of opting out of the debt structure. You just, there's nothing there. But, but for Gen X, before the .com bubble burst, or before just deindustrialization became more of just a reality, there was money in being an outsider.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, because in abundance is where this kind of, oftentimes for the wrong reason, even nihilistically, this kind of depth can be entertained. It affords you the patience to contemplate when you don't have to worry about your own survival, and sometimes you can even contemplate too much. But yeah, for now that we are in lack, and we're likely to become increasingly in lack as the decades roll by. One of the things that I like to emphasize too is that this is probably one of the last windows of time where we can enjoy these things with sincerity. Right now we are being caned, you could say, into appreciating less. And whether it's companies that are caning us into appreciating less because they can't afford to give us more, or it's our own governments ensuring our docility by, coaxing us into appreciating less if we don't demand more from them. There might not be another time where we can experience this kind of like renaissance. And that window has a possibility of closing permanently. And it's not just for things like Tekken either. Tekken is just, I'd like to say I'm grabbing at any kind of bubble I can to invoke the spirit, and Tekken was just the vessel the conduit that I was able to put my hands on. It's kind of like the old world. It's the last, the dying breaths of this kind of ecstasy. So enjoy it while you can. I like to tell people
that Yoshi suicide.
Yeah, call it a synchronicity that.
And that's music by Tuesday Never Comes.
Tuesday Never Comes.
But yeah, I don't know if people have any questions or anything. I guess the last thing I want to hit on is just that Strawberry is probably going to be also with Park, who was in the India versus Korea video, going to be coming up to Boston. Probably in April, we're looking at I'm going to do a Strawberry versus Tekken Tag Boston, and I'm going to do a tournament for him. He really, really wanted me to do a tournament.
Really?
And it's going to be the Mandarin Cup in, I guess, probably spring 2026. And we've got a couple players from Jersey who want to come up. Pecky, Brian H. I don't know if Sparrowjin.
Oh shit, Brian H is going to be there? Oh my
Brian
goodness.
Brian H. I know, and I've actually never played Brian H.
Wow.
But I've always seen him at tournaments.
I think I saw Brian H in New Jersey. I think it was at 8 on the Break when Tekken 6 came out.
Oh wow. Yeah, that must have been right before 8 on the Break closed.
Yeah, I believe it was. I played vanilla Tekken 6 there, and I played BR there. They got BR over there. And I guess right before they... Yeah. That is such a shame. But yeah, I played Brian H over there. He's playing Paul.
Yep, yeah. When I first played him, he was using Paul and King. This was for a Tekken 5 vanilla tournament I went down there for. And there were some great Canadian players there. Shift was one, and a guy, I think Jin Ogre was the other guy. Really, really good. Slips was there. Again, RIP Slips. Animal Tactics, a really, really off-the-wall Rhode Island player who uses Roger and Kuma.
Animal Tactics rings a bell. I don't think I've met him in person.
A very, very innovative player. RIP also to his brother. My Wang is Hard was the name of the player. He was
good ass name.
Yeah. When he used Wang and King.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, people are, an aging generation, and RIP to him. But that was a great tournament. And I went there a couple times. But yeah, I mean, I never got to play Brian H. And I saw him again at a tournament in like Maryland or Virginia. But yeah, I think I got fifth that day. I think first was like Slips, second was Brian H. I don't know if third was Shin, who's a really, really nasty STL Chang's player. Um, I don't know who got fourth. I got fifth, and I my big win was that I beat Chet Chetty, who is a Armor King, Devil, and Jin player, and I was using Brian Jin. I didn't even know about Mach Kick back then. I didn't know how broken Mach Kick was against Mishimas.
It's kind of
Um,
crazy. Like some of that, like I haven't heard Brian H's name spoken like probably like 15 years.
no, he's the
So
man on the
crazy.
Silver Mountain.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna hopefully get Techie and Brian H. and maybe
And
Sparrow.
Sparrow, I hope Sparrow attends. I mean, he's in Tekken Underground's Discord server. I bumped into Sparrow Jin on Arcadesia. He had a Tekken 2 session open. We did a first to
Oh, that's great.
15. He beat me by 3 games. We did a Tekken 2 session. And well, I come into the game in a lobby and I'm like, Sparrowgen? He's like, yeah. I'm like, B Sparrowgen? I'm like, no way. No way. I'm like, we gotta get you in the motherfucking server. Get in here. So I mean, we had him in here. He attended a tournament. He did pretty well. He ran in a 134. He lost to
Yeah,
134, but he did excellent. And I mean, it is just, to me, it's astonishing like how many people turn out. I can never get over how many people have turned up, but it is amazing. So you're gonna throw an offline tournament. What is this for Tag 1?
be TAG1, yeah, offline, and yeah, we've got let's say I could get six people up from Mass alone, and we
Mm-hmm.
get some people coming up from so really maybe I'll come on your show again closer to that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Just to talk it up more. But yeah, this is going to be an offline tag tournament for anyone who really wants that. And yeah, I get it. It's a financial burden. It's a hike to make the travel, but it's in-person tag is really, really another level of the game shining, just because like we were talking about earlier, kind of that feedback between watching the game, and where spacing and angles are
Mm-hmm.
a function of space, and your ability to watch and react and control space if you're someone who understands spacing in
Yeah.
that game. With the no lag is really just where that feedback mechanism really, really shines,
Yeah, because you feel like you're in lockstep with your character. Yeah, lagless offline Tekken on a CRT is where it's fucking at because of the
Absolutely.
response. And
100%.
because of the
That's the
response,
gold standard.
I had a I did have this at a Tekken 6 tournament. I can't remember his name. He went to Evo, and I think people were impressed by the fact I beat him because he placed pretty high. I'm trying to remember what the hell his name was though, because I had met him once. I fought him at that local tournament, and I beat him. But
At the break?
he it wasn't at the break. This was in like Northern Virginia on a college campus, and
Oh.
I went there with Waylon Sortidios and Vegeta Marvin. Can't remember who else was
Hmm.
there. Yeah, who the hell? Somebody else was there. I can't remember.
Who did he use?
He played Elisa. Um,
Okay.
he was an Elisa player, and well, I remember he was just absolutely just caving my fucking head in. He was playing Anna at the time, just caving my head in, and suddenly I had this clear state just come over me. It was it was actually surreal because I was just so focused that all of a sudden it was. Well, he did Elisa's running too. The big high
Yep.
punch.
Yep.
Every time he did it, and I mean I was down 2 games and 2 rounds, so I was at the. Every time he did it, I jabbed him out of each running two into a float for full juggle. So jab, down four, 3, 2 side step 3. Every time. It didn't matter if he mixed it up. I could see it. And when it came out, the punch was almost like in fucking
Right.
slow motion. So the second that I saw it on the screen, I hit one, and it was an instant flow, and everybody's watching this shit, and they're like, "What the fuck? You see that
That's
shit?" I'm like,
awesome.
"Yeah." Uh, it's and I remembered that moment because there was everything was just so crystal clear. That's what I mean. There is a meditative aspect to Tekken. It can seem silly to wax philosophical over a game, but like when your mind is put under pressure in like a micro environment, weird things start to happen. And I think that's the reason why we're always fascinated by
Yeah.
high level Tekken play, because of this. You get it pulls out these reactions
Yeah.
and reads and like foresight where if you're actually familiar with the meta of the game, you will see astonishing things come from these players. Um, I've
And
seldom had
I
things like
know
that happen to me again.
I mean, I totally agree. And do you think that with, even 5 milliseconds of lag, you could have still had that?
I often wonder, like, I don't think so. There have been a couple of times where I've approached that while playing online, but not necessarily. I mean, you see shit like, too, like, I remember there was some footage of a Tekken 6 tournament. It was Anakin versus Knee. The throw breaks in that fucking
Hmm.
match were crazy. They couldn't throw each other. Not a single throw would connect, and people, of course, are staring at this in awe because of the reaction time required to react to these throws. They were breaking each one. These were not guesses. They were
Oh
reads,
yeah.
or they weren't even reads. They were reactions. It was pure reaction. So
Yeah. And that's, I know. I mean, I almost feel there's something degenerate about that too. And, not to take anything away from those players who are, phenomenal and incredibly disciplined and just really cool players too,
mm,
who use cool characters. Just that someone would be forced to get that level of mastery or throw breaks, because throw breaks are just such a big deal when spacing has been, nerfed,
yeah.
like that's something that I find really chill about tag. And again, not to take anything away from those players
Mm,
or doing that, but in tag, it's like you don't have to be able to break it. One, in tag, the arms don't always even match. Like
yeah.
King's Tombstone looks the same as some of his double breaks. Or it probably looks the same as his down back 1+2.
So
But
you don't get
you
that
can
extra window of
work it
time
out.
to like there's a bit of an extra window of time with like throw breaks in six. Because you can kind of read the first couple frames of the animation, whereas in three and tag, like you better have that. You can like the first 3 frames of animation, I think that you can like break in them, you can push off, but it's such a tight window.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've got players in Tekken Underground like Jester, he'll break throws on reaction. I'm like, how the fuck are you? Because he's
I mean,
staring at the
and if players
limbs.
like that can get reacclimated if they want to, they can do whatever they want. But to in real life tag on a CRT,
Mm.
um, they're probably just going to be even better players.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. And I don't know. I've heard, yeah, Jin Kojima says when the adrenaline kicks in. But yeah, that's what I think it is. It's like the adrenaline helps to produce somewhere in between this kind of clear state. I actually had a guy who's a bit of a thrill seeker. He's one of my managers at some restaurant I worked at a while ago. And he was telling me this story about how and he would always do shit. He's been skydiving, climb large towers, etc. He's just one of those people who really is not afraid to die and likes, to live his life to the fullest, I guess. Well, he was about to get in a car wreck, and of course, he had a massive adrenaline rush. And he was like, you know what? He's like, the most peculiar thing was that when I had this one, he was like, it's almost as if time slowed down. He said, I remember looking at my hands and looking at the car in
Yeah.
front of me. And he was like, I saw everything in complete slow motion. And I said, well, what was on your mind at the time? He was like, well, the only thing I could think of while I was looking at everything go down, he's like, I'm fixing to get in a wreck because he was about to plow in a fucking truck in front of him. His brakes went out. So there was like no recourse. So the adrenaline kicked in, obviously, because
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
brain picked up on the million
That's,
processes that are telling him, hey, you're probably
yeah.
about to fucking die. Your concept of time needs to slow down a bit. You got to assess your options and figure out how you're going to brace yourself for this impact. Thankfully, he came out of it okay, but he was going like head first into a truck, and but yeah, you have that kind of experience seems to be brought on by these like unique experiences where the mind is put under a tremendous amount of pressure, and it can happen like that. And so with Tekken, Tekken seems to be at least capable of producing that like in a microcosm, which is one of the reasons why I enjoy playing it. Sometimes I'll play like listening to binaurals and shit like that. People who've been on the channel frequently watch my videos now that I'll go from listening to trance and shit like that to listening to very ambient shit if I want to lock into a set, because I want to try to find that space. Even if I can get just a hairline of a degree closer to it, I guess that's the kind of like Tekken fulfillment, I guess you could say, that I'm looking for. Is like I want it, and even if it's a losing match, I want it to be the perfect projection of what I'm seeing and reacting to with my mind. I think that's kind of our idea of like Tekken enlightenment. It's not even just to like win; it has to be like this perfect culmination of total application, total processing, where there's no hesitation, there's no fuck ups. You know, every piece of execution is perfect. There's this mind versus mind thing that's kind of going on that has to be perfectly replicated on the screen. I think that's what we're looking for. And when you get that, brings us back to like what we talked about with Tekken 8, when you have these games that are just so fucking laden in bad mechanics, it's almost like an inhibitor to that. You know, the older Tekken seem to be better at encapsulating this kind of search for fulfillment, executing fulfillment, the perfect match, you know.
And even imagine just throwing more 50-50s on top of that scenario you just described. You know, the 50-50s are just going to screen out that level of engagement. And exactly. I think that was the whole point of the Heat system, you know, to screen out this level of engagement that was just too demanding for people.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, the coming demographic seems to be built for that level of like mindlessness. And so I think Tekken anticipated that from a marketing standpoint, and that's what they wanted to brace down for. And I think that's the reason why you have so many complaints about it being basically a casino and shit like that from players who have some experience with Tekken as it was as a series.
Totally.
But yeah, the fact that they want to phase out that avenue is just it's treacherous, because like I said, I think that's what we're all looking for. It's something that's a little difficult to describe, but we're approaching it. You know, that's what we want to see.
Fortunately, we've got Tekken Underground. We've got, you know, what we're doing with the Tekken Tag Boston project. And yeah, you know, it's going to be an in real life tournament with Strawberry. You know,
I definitely, I don't know if you plan on live streaming it or recording it, but if you want me to mirror the footage or repost the footage, I'm totally fucking down to do shit like that.
Oh, no, that would be great. And, just, you know, obviously
I already appreciate the assets that you gave me for the production I've been working on right now for, I guess it'll be like Club Cuts Volume 2 or whatever, and it looks really beautiful. I've shown a couple of people samples of it, and they're just going like ballistic over it. So you are truly an artist. And like I said, I think this is something that you've tapped into before me, and I'm glad that we can meet and hopefully work on far more in the future, because
absolutely,
your capability is astonishing. Your insights are astonishing. You are just a very astonishing person to me, and I'm so glad I've met you.
Hey, I appreciate that, and I'm glad to see what you're doing with Tekken Underground and to be able to collaborate. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I don't know how many people are in the chat, but I got to head out in a sec. But if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy
if y'all got any questions for Mandarin, post up. When I mirrored the stream too, I should have posted it on Twitter, but because of the technical difficulties that we had earlier today, I was just kind of so eager to get everything together because I didn't want to waste too much of your time. But we can definitely have some time in the future where we just come on and chill and talk. Like I don't give a fuck what we do.
Let's do it again, and you know, we can maybe we can run the Kane video next time.
Fun. Definitely run a Kane video next time. It was nice to, and I'll also include a link to that video in the description so everybody can like check it out. If you want to check out more from Mandarin's channel, I'd encourage all of you to do so. His videos often make rounds in our clips channel in Discord, in the Tekken Underground Discord. So like I said, we were very familiar with your work, and when you've come into like Add comments. You were the one who told me to up forward 1-3 when the fucking 3 connects to the blonde bomb. I was just like, oh shit, thanks.
Yeah.
That one really pissed Phaser off to get the
I
free
mean
garbage.
that string there, because that's tough. Because let me say, if I could give my opinion about Anna real quick.
Mm.
I'm not an Anna player, but Aramura, Tekken Tag Boston, I use as Anna.
Mm.
But that's a tough move because you want to try to sidestep her, but those two moves track different ways: the up forward 1 and up forward 3.
Yeah.
You can easily sidestep the eye poke, but then that stupid stagger hits you, and then you have to eat the blonde bomb.
Yeah, when you get
It,
the nut kick by the 3.
So how do you like facing Bruce with Anna? I wanted to ask you that.
Oh my
Like, what do
god,
you? Yeah,
it's a chore because he's got the damn, was it 1-2-1, and then the 2
yeah,
knees, which I mean he's safe when it comes out of them. So I'm just like, if you want to try to apply pressure, you want to do a low,
yeah.
and he's like phaser already. He anticipates this. So I'll already go down to parry, and I'm just like, oh my god, So you do down forward 1, but the problem is that if he gets on that you're doing down forward 1 after you block the string and just jab, push you
Yep.
right out of it. And if it counter hits, it's an ass whooping. All that health is gone. It doesn't matter if he has Netsu or not. The thing is that I actually don't mind him being that safe. I don't. Because you can
Right.
just kind of space and then re-engage. You have the advantage of,
Right.
like we talked about before, having that fucking nice ass spacing. So you can back out of certain scenarios and reinitiate the neutral, and that's totally
Yep.
fine. You can fish for
Yep.
counter hits. But with him, it's the damage. It's like, if he's gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
that safe, then put the fucking damage. The damage is retarded. I mean, it's just so fucking
Yeah.
stupid.
3-2-1 or back forward for
Or back for me, it's the 1-2-1 counter hit. I'm like, why? Like, keep the 3-2-1. The hell, even keep the down forward 1-2. But the fact that you gave him a 3-piece jab string where all that HP is just like gone, I'm like,
yeah.
make it
So what's
stop.
he at after block of 1-2-1?
I don't even know what he's at 1-2-1. I mean, if you try to dish out jabs after he's blocked, he'll have to block. You'll beat him out.
Right.
But
And
if you
yeah.
try for anything else like down forward 1, because like say I need to do
Yep.
down forward 1 because I know he's gonna duck,
Yep.
I can get countered hit if he does 1-2-1 again. So it's
Up
somewhere in
block.
there. Yeah, I'm
See,
gonna.
and I don't know the frames of that, but Bruce, we used to always say that his upper body had a um concave hitbox. It's like his chest is caved in. And Armor King's like that too. That on a block you can press him and then somehow he still gets around
He
you.
still gets
Um
around you. I feel like that's the case when I try to approach him with Anna's elbow. It'll like hairline whiff, and I'm like,
yep.
okay, like I hate that because like you calculated the distance that's supposed to come there, and sometimes you can't get any closer. You're gonna get fucked up, and it'll whiff
Well,
like right in front of him. I'm like, son of a bitch, you
yeah,
know?
no, I think that's a great move to use against him, her elbow,
Yeah,
the down to down forward 1. Because it's like it's at least +1 on block.
yeah.
And that move, there was no crush system, but that move can really mess up jabs.
Yeah, it can fuck up
So
jabs that'll eat them, especially at a distance too. I guess when like the active frame is like already engaged, so if they come any
yep,
closer, they'll get popped and go straight in the motherfucking air, and you get a decent chunk of damage for doing it. About the only
yep,
way I feel like I can deal with Bruce is appropriate spacing, and every time the small Tekken begins, every action has to be perfect. Or if he gets a counter hit, I die. That's the way I look at it. Is if he's at range 1 and range 0.5, I can die. If I'm
well,
counter
so
hit
what about
fishing, I
using
might be safer.
what about her 1-2?
About her 1-2,
Yeah, how do you like that versus Bruce?
it's okay. Like I said, like any, if you respond to him with highs, he just like phaser will just start ducking until he can suss out that I want to do down forward 1 to challenge the duck. And then if I go
Yep.
to do down forward 1 and eat 1-2-1, boom, chunk of my health gone. Uh, Actually, his down forward 1-2 is pretty fucking stupid too, because
Yep.
you feel
Counter
like
hit.
yeah, it'll counter hit things, and it's so fast. So like I prefer dealing
Yeah.
with Kazuya's twin pistons or dealing with Devil's twin pistons than to dealing with that. It's just Bruce is just, if I were the god of Tekken Tag, like creator remasterer of Tekken Tag, I would just nerf his damage. That's kind of really all I would do, because he can get the hits if he doesn't have the godlike damage. That's the only problem that I have with him,
Yeah,
and I
no,
think he's the
he's
worst for
just one
that.
of those characters that you don't have to understand the game as well to play with him and win. And under high pressure situations, he's just really good. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess um what would I'm not an Ana player, but I would wonder, sidestepping to the right, if that would help. I wonder if her
Mm.
down forward 1-2 could set up, because I think she's +1 on block off down forward 1-2. I'm not sure.
I'll have to check. I know
I-
Phaser has access to some frame data. I'm gonna have to review it and see. Because I mean, I've never even checked the frame data for 3 or TAG1. I've had the data for free and for
it,
3, and I've
it's a
never really
degenerate
checked it.
match, and that's where the frame data is going to be really key, I think, in something
Yeah, to
like
try
Ana
to try to
or
find like a fucking
yeah.
vulnerability somewhere. But I'll try like sidestepping to vulnerable areas. I know that Xiao you can really take advantage of that too, and I've recently picked her up really hardcore um to get
Yeah,
around like a lot of the bullshit.
I bet she could get around him. I mean, and I wonder if Anna's from crouching game, because she's got that stab move, and she's
There's
got
crouching forward
and she has that
one.
claw move that punch parries, and then of course her low knockdown. I
That
wonder if
the crouching forward two is the claw move that punch parries, and that's all fun and games until he until he does down forward one two, and then he can launch the
okay, right,
dog
'cause it's
shit
the
out of her.
elbow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm like, I'm basically, my
right. So that,
arsenal is
yeah.
like boiled down to one down forward one two, down 1-4, and down forward 4, and up forward 1-3.
What about her down 1-4? Did you just say that?
Yeah, down 1-4. Down 1-4 is a good response. If it gets low parried, it's not too hard because it's a punch parry, so you get a bit of
Yep.
damage, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
And up forward 1-3 is also another way, because I could do up forward 1, buffer it, and do the 3, and then do
Yep.
up forward 1, buffer it, and do down forward 4. So
I
kind
think
of
that's good.
a little bit of a mix
And I
up.
just, yeah. I mean, the good thing about Bruce is that he has no while standing. I guess you can do while standing hop kick, and he has no double break, and he can really just like chip away at you with like down forward 3 or
Hmm.
forward and 2, down 4, and he can't really mess you up too much if you're just being really defensive. I mean,
Yeah.
Jin, I know more about the Jin versus Anna and Jin versus Bruce matchup, so, when I'm Jin versus Anna, what I want to do is I want to stay far away. Um, Hopefully, it's actually hard to whiff punish her with Jin.
Hmm.
Just the hitbox often doesn't work out, but his back and four is pretty good against Anna. I want to get to her right, and I want to stay away from the 3 of the up forward 1-3.
Yeah.
And I want to. So the big meta with Anna versus Jin, or a big aspect of it, is her elbow, the down to down forward 1, because that will counter hit almost everything Jin will do. But Jin can duck that and while standing 2 punish, so that's kind of the big meta. And versus Bruce with Jin, I want to move to my right and just do a quick. If you can sidestep right with Jin and do a quick electric or quick wind god fist
Hmm.
against Bruce, you can counter hit pretty much all his things if you're over to the right.
So
So
he's
that goes for 3-2-1.
vulnerable. He's vulnerable sidestep right.
He is,
Okay.
and so
I'll keep
Anna
that in mind.
isn't gonna get too beefy off that, but that's good with Jin. And if you're using Kazuya or probably even Devil or Heihachi, they can just counter hit a lot of his stuff with their kind of coasting in Wind God
Yeah,
Fist.
the only thing I have with
But
Anna to go ham on the side is a blonde bomb up forward 4, which up forward 4 is like slow. It's
yep,
unsafe now
slow.
too, and in tag versus in 3, or
Right, and he can mess you up after that, I'm
yeah, yeah.
sure, with a down
The
forward
thing I
2 or
also
whatever.
don't like too is the fucking like crouching down forward 2 doesn't launch. I'm like, like when you get them to fall for the crouch game, and then you just get nothing. I'm like, what the fuck was the point? Her game is so like skewed. It's basically skewed in favor of up forward 1-3, which is a great move.
Very
It's
much.
in favor of up forward 1-3 and elbow. So you're fishing for those up forward 1 3 elbow and down forward 4, but it's like I want my launch, like my neutral launches, you know, my regular hit
Yeah,
launches. Like I want those. I'm tired of like counter hit fishing for the whole game because it's so risky. Because if you
but that's part
miscalculate, you
of
get fucked.
yeah, but that's part of the prestige and the swagger of being an ANA player is that you
Mm.
don't need that stuff.
Well, I mean, in DR, I could I could just go ballistic and like brain dead because I like have all these tools to deal with it. There's a whole like 50-50 meta in
Oh
DR.
yeah,
In 3, it's a bit better too because I've got a safer up for hard up forward 4. And oh my god, the last thing for like tag with her down 4-1 is donkey shit. Like I hate. Okay, so the first thing
well,
they
I think you
nerf.
got to do down forward 1 2 with her and tag. I never really saw anyone do
No, no,
because
no,
it's natural combo.
down 4-1. Down,
Oh,
yeah,
down. Oh yeah,
down
I don't.
4-1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't. I don't really use that. I mean, I use that with Nina just to get a float
Well, I mean,
if they're on the
the
ground.
float that you
But yeah,
get is like donkey shit now because you can, if you're playing Nina, you can only follow up with a 4-4-3, which is
yep,
tight as fuck. In Tekken 3, it's her down 4-1 executes the same way in every other Tekken game. It doesn't frame lock you at the end of it. So it fucks her, the flow of her juggles up. So if I do
yeah,
down 4-1, the only thing I'm going to get is down forward 4 or 1-2 and a blonde bomb, which, let's say, it looks like donkey shit. I want to get down forward 3-1-4. That's what I want to do. In Tekken
yeah.
3, you float them, it's down forward 3-1-4. If you float with Nina, it's down forward 3-1-2, forward 1+2. Okay, it it flows better. So, you know, imagine I get a random float and I can't even like dash up after the down 4-1 to make sure I can like close it to get a bit more damage if they got floated like far back. And not only that, but if I get a juggle off down forward 2 and I'm not confident that the elbow's gonna hit after it, so I could do like down forward 2, elbow 1-2, and then down forward 3-1-4. I can do down 4-1, down forward 3-1-4. I can't do that. So yeah, that nerf on down
Right.
4-1 is just it's donkey shit. And Anna also doesn't
There's a
get the
lot of
push
nerfing
after
in
it either
tag.
in tag.
They nerfed a lot. I mean, for me, looking at Tekken 3, it's like the Wild West, with like the Law 3, 3+4.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's really hard. Of course, the thing everyone
So
talks about in
it's
Tekken
the
3
yeah,
is
he
the
can whiff punish.
flash
It's I
hit.
think it's 3 up forward 4. Yes, it's 3 up forward 4 and you can sidestep it
Right,
and they get a
right.
major
That's
whiff.
the one.
Jester's so good at hit confirming that and it's great.
It,
It's
it's
great.
yeah. No, but yeah, we should do the save the Tekken 3. I mean, there's so much there, because you're a real Tekken 3 player, and
Jin
I
Kojima
don't know
also
any
has a
more.
question for you. He says he needs secret Jin tech. I mean, is there any like general advice that you
So
have for Jin other than
yeah,
what
Secret Gin
the
Tech.
aforementioned?
So Kane told me this, and I don't even remember the exact input, but it's something like if you do quarter circle back and 1, then you can do a free 1-1-2. A lot of people know about Kazuya's back and 1 giving a free 1-1-2.
Yeah.
Jin has some version of that. Maybe I
Really?
don't know, if someone can get at Kane, ask him about how to get the 1-1-2
Yeah, I was
off the
about to
one. Something like
did he execute it in
he
the
showed
match
it to
footage
me.
for Kane?
Yeah, so here's some Gen Tech. So he does the like hell sweep 1+4 down forward 1+2 into the
Mm.
free hell sweep. And if they try to quick stand, you get the second 4. It's like a DR combo, the double gen.
Mm.
I hate that combo in tag just because I can't get the down forward 1+2 off it. But he was saying if you for your 3-ring circus, the 1-4, if you roll from 4 to 1, he feels like you get a little bit more free time after the 1+4.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna
that's
need
some
to.
secret gen tech.
I need to
Of course,
investigate the.
yeah, that's just some real. It's kind of just that's just some esoteric gen stuff that I
Yeah,
don't even.
I was about to say too, Phaser. Did you hear that? Like pass that on, bro, because
There's
I
a
think
way
Phaser should take note of that.
you can get. I know down forward 1-2 with like if you do just frame timing, you get like an extra 2 points of damage for gen. Yeah, I against like Jax, I saw you guys talking about that with Strawberry. Right. You can. What I do against Jax with Jin is I just do Laser Blaster, Wind God Fist, just because I love to wake up and you can tag out and set up a tag dive. But it's also you get an easy Demon's Paw. And I saw one of the guys try to do this. You can actually do two sets of laser scrapers if you just do the first laser scraper early enough where it kind of squeezes them up, and then you can do a second laser blaster, and you're kind of working with their foot that's in the air. It's sort of that
Yeah, and
version of the
so
where
it'll actually like
really
catch
bad
twice.
way.
So you can do, and what, off of what launcher? Just off of electric?
You can get two sets of back forward 2-1-2 off a launch against Jax.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Um, you can get off Jin's Hell Sweep against Jax. You can do while standing 4, back forward 2-1-2. Strawberry attacks an electric at the end of that.
Oh shit,
Um,
really?
but you can get a big combo. Their legs are short. That's the only thing you got to watch out for with the Jax.
So
Kuma's legs are just
you
tiny.
gotta make
A
sure you
little bit.
launch him at a range,
You
at
gotta
a good
and that's
range.
a big thing that got nerfed in tag. If you don't get a clean launch, but that's again that's spacing there. But
Yeah.
yeah, what else with Jin? Yeah, you can do. Kane told me this that when Jin has anger, and you tag him in, you can do the laser blaster into Demon's Paw easier. Like he's more freed up after the laser blaster. So you back forward 2-1-2, and then you can. Normally, that's just like a tough combo to get Demon's Paw after laser blaster. I don't mean laser scraper, laser blaster.
Hmm.
But if he has anger, it's easier. He's more freed up after, which is
Really?
so that yeah, that's some good Gen tech for people.
That
Yeah,
is
Jin. I
really
mean,
interesting. I would have never thought that. I would have never thought him coming in with Anger's Netsu, right? I wouldn't have think
yeah,
it would have even meant a difference. That's pretty
I
neat.
never. Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any other examples of that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
oh,
Jin,
Where did you put
Jin is
her?
kind of like the textbook oppressive character in Tag. I mean, I think his big weakness that people don't appreciate is that his Wind God Fist has a worse hitbox
mm,
than any of the other Mishimas. So, and if you do an electric, um, you sort of lose some of that room. You can't do a coast in Wind God Fist with Jin.
mm,
You're sort of space bound if you do the electric because you're just what you can do with Jin is forward, neutral, down, down, forward two.
mm,
You need to manually input it if you want to get an electric that covers a little bit of space. But big thing against Jin is that everyone knows if you do tag, you get tag buffered and you get special mid for his electric. What a
mm.
lot of people
Yeah.
don't know is that you do not get a frame advantage off his tag buffered electric. You're at like 0. It might even be -2 or something. I was kind of trying to look at that the other day, but it's like you're at 0 off of his tag buffered electric. Now, if they duck it, they get thrown back a little bit. It's kind of like what you get with the other Mishimas. But and then against heavy characters like Ganru or Ogre, you don't even get a proper launch. So that's just to say, against someone like Ogre,
Mm.
Jin doesn't really have a proper special mid Wind God Fist. And why should he need that anyway? It just means you need to have the facility to bring in his while standing too, or use some laser blaster or something like that. But yeah, I think that's a common misconception about Jin in Tag is that he has an electric that's special mid with plus frames, and he loses the plus frames for the special mid version.
Yeah, a lot of his it's interesting that they give him so much like mechanical variation because I mean when we think of Jin and like Mishimas in general, they have a very general toolkit. It's like the only thing that's really complicated about them is execution. But it's like within this
Yeah.
realm of hard execution, you have these little like special, I guess you could call them like micro situations. These little circumstances that you can take advantage of that really take it to another level. Like even with the what is that like the forward four, like say for with Kazuya, you get the forward four and then you get that guaranteed win Godfist. I mean it's
Yeah,
down
against
to
Crouch.
execution, but it's like it's circumstantial. He's got to be at the right distance, and they got to be crouched, so
Yep.
you got to force mix up.
Yep.
It's you get stuff like that, and then all of a sudden this simple toolkit turns into this very powerful meta where the ability for you to get the kind of damage that you want or get the kind of offensive play that you want, and it's going to be predicated upon the decency of your read and your execution. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes to like a fraction of a second. You know,
yeah, and I think
it's gotta be
that's
clean.
I think people really like that about them.
Yeah, it's like if you want, and
I
it's a
yeah,
thrilling experience too. You know, it's very thrilling.
well, yeah, you Brian H said this. He's like, you have to really be feeling yourself with Jin, and if you're not, you kind of have to know when to use his other tools, just because you can really stunt and get up in someone's face, and then you miss your while standing two or something, or you miss your electric, and he doesn't even get a launch off his non-electric counter hit. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very he's a very like self-centered character. He kind of anticipated, I think, a lot of incel trends where you can just be in the lab with Jin and then emerge. But yeah, maybe we could do one more question just because I probably have to
Yeah,
bounce.
if there's anybody, if y'all got any other questions, I should probably be reading the TikTok chat log. But sorry for the people who have commented on TikTok live because my multi chat interface is like donkey shit. Can't see nothing. Can't see nothing. Can't really hear nothing. I mean, we got I can check Twitter's chat and see if anybody posted anything. Probably won't load in. But yeah, the multi-chat for like Stream Elements is total donkey shit. That's what I mean is like this shit when I do this shit it's like so off the cuff. Like half of the shit that needs to be fixed like ain't even fixed. But to me, I mean, it's good enough because we're able to capture the vibe and definitely get the
Oh,
conversation,
absolutely.
polish it up later and shit like that. But I'm so chill when it comes to stuff like this. Like I don't people care about it being overly professional and like overly clean. I'm like, nah, you know, we'll get there. We get there as we get there, and it doesn't have to be clean to show the primary components here.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I think
if
your guys' production level is great, honestly.
I really appreciate that. Like I said, I try really hard to try to get it together. And I know that I've had a lot of people behind me, like with good charity, who've helped me put this together. At least like for like the hosting side and getting some of the social started and giving me the promotions that I've needed. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. But like from a design standpoint and like cobbling together all the little elements, it's all been me and it's been like a one man show. So sometimes I feel like my head is split in like 50 different directions doing a lot of it. But when it finally comes out, I mean, it just looks wonderful. And
Well, yeah, I think
I'm looking forward to doing more with you because, like I said, I love your style, especially like the audio end of it and even the visuals. Like we're gonna be pumping out some really good shit.
yeah, for sure.
Already, if any of you haven't, if you don't know, a little Easter egg, um, Mandarin has given me. I sent him some pre-renders for the new production that's coming out, and he sent me back some very amazing filtered VHS footage from his rig, and it just looks it's crazy beautiful. It is so crazy beautiful. Like it's y'all will see it. It's halfway done and it's getting there, but I think Mandarin it's very interesting when you start working on pieces like this. Um it's almost as if there's some line of fortune, but I will have people who come out of nowhere completely, almost as if it's providence that add the missing piece. And like you have when I saw the footage that you sent me, I was like, oh man, he has no idea like how badass this is gonna be. I put it together and sent you a copy, and it is just I'm
Awesome.
going ballistic with it. So I think everybody's gonna like it. And like I said, I think it'll even get some shocked reception. I hope it does because you need to shake things up a little bit. And this community is the FGC community. Yeah, it's too sterile. We need to shake it up a little bit. So I think I can do that. I think this will do that.
Well, this has been great, and yeah, obviously you're going to keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, I look forward to seeing more just match streams from you guys, and continuing to collaborate.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, just keep in touch. Yeah, I mean, you're in Tekken Underground's Discord server. Obviously, you've got a direct line to me, and of course, talk to me whenever about whatever is on your mind. We see eye to eye on a lot, and like I said, it's just to me, I feel very humbled to be in the presence of so many people who have carried this scene before it, I guess it's kind of been like the torch has been somewhat like passed on to me, and I need input from you guys. I need you guys to contribute because you are the core of that soul. Even if you haven't had all the means to express it to the degree that you've wanted to, I can't do any of this without you guys. I can't do really any of it. So you guys have been the source of most of my inspiration when I was younger. And I look up to that a lot.
Well, yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And yeah, till next time, we'll be in touch soon. And peace out, everybody.
Yeah, peace out. It was good talking to you. I guess if you want to go ahead and dip, you could go ahead and dip. I wanted to have a couple of things that I'm gonna review with the public for the Mothership.
Great. Yeah, I wish I could stay, but
I wish you could stay. You a busy man. You a daddy.
Yeah, definitely. There's a baby that other people are watching right now, so I got to go check in with that situation. But
absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's been a great time, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time, Mandarin.
All right.
See here. It is just so fucking nice I can't express like how nice it is to tap into the community of old heads. It's fucking awesome as shit. Like these guys have been playing Tekken too since I was just a little kid. Put my hands on the game, and they were circulating that kind of culture. And Mandarin, like I said, is an excellent artist. I mean, his music is fucking awesome. Like the music for that set was fucking amazing, you know. And he gets it. You meet these people that they just fucking get it. And you know, I've often wondered like where all this has gone. It's just kind of gone into hiding a little bit, and with the state of the world being as it is, and everybody being kind of like a head ass, you know, novelty consumer, you don't really see too much of this anymore. These people have kind of gone into quieter corners where that kind of work can be appreciated a bit better. That it's so nice to have Tekken Underground. It's just like this beacon to all these people like, hey, come over here, you know, the party's still fucking going, you know, we still have shit that we have to do. You know, where you been? It's definitely not over yet. But yeah, I guess might as well go over a bit of small news. There's some news that we can go over. It's just basic shit. I know that most people in the Tekken Underground Discord server probably heard that Hanmaru is going to grace us with PS2 compatibility for Arcadia. So we're going to have the privilege of re-experiencing broke-ass T5, vanilla T5, and Lord have mercy. We need more Nina Upward 1 and Steve Infinite and Raven on the Wall, but you know, I guess it has a charm too. At least it's prettier to deal with the bullshit in these games. You get a beauty award, or a beautiful reward rather, dealing with the bullshit in these games just because of how aesthetically wonderful they are. So I'm looking forward to what Ren and the Hanmaru team have to offer us with the fucking PS2 capability, with Retro Buddha being refined like it is. We've already had some really great experiences playing TAG1 online, and we'll get into that in a second too. There have been new hot fixes for Retro Buddha and new features that have made TAG1 much fucking easier to play. In its alpha stages, it really was not. It wasn't feasible. Like, you'd have to be like super close to somebody in order for it to really get like a stable connection with it. But thankfully, Ren being very committed to his work, he seems to be, because at first I was kind of nervous that maybe he would leave it alone, but props to Hanmaru for really like nourishing Arcadia. yeah, I mean, what can I say? They just keep giving everybody what we love. So yeah, we can expect vanilla Tekken 5 and hopefully Tekken 4 to be playable on Arcadesia Online. This is going to be with rollback netcode. So, like I said, I'm pretty stoked about that. You'll see me checking out T4 more than Tekken 5 if they decide to let us play on there. And I know that a lot of you have been asking me about releasing a PCSX2 NetPlay repack. I cannot get that bitch to run smooth. And I hate that because I'm just not confident in passing around a repack that won't even work for me. And I mean, I've got a kick-ass fucking PC now. There should be no reason why I can't run that bitch like that. But I'm getting frame stutters, all kinds of dumb shit, really. I can't seem to get it stable. I've had a couple people test it out. We desync, so I don't know. We might have to just wait until until Ren and Arc and the Hanmaru team want to test and release rollback net play for the Tekken's PS2 titles, because the shit going on with PCSX2, it seems to be a hit or miss. I'll try to keep working on it, but there's just been like a lot of shit that I've had to do too. More new productions for Tekken Underground, rounding off everything. So it's been a bit of a chore. But let's see here. So on the Twitters, I believe I had some more from Ren. This will come up here and see what you got. Yeah, just kind of circulated for those of you who haven't followed Ren or anything like that. Like, please go and do so on Twitter, because these updates are pretty important. This guy is shaping the future of our scene. He's building a platform that we're playing on, because Bandai Namco and company won't give us the shit that we want. And as a matter of fact, it's been pretty depressing to hear about the fact that the MK Legacy Collection release was a disaster. Opening up from this onto a bit of a different topic, can we really rely on these companies to give us proper Legacy collections? Because we're expecting a lot. I don't play MK, but I believe the testimony that they have for it, and we were expecting a lot from the dev team for that community. And I mean, the games come out and the connectivity is shite, it's riddled with bugs. And the thing that gets me is was developing the emulation for this, was it really, it couldn't have been any easier. Certainly it was harder, given the people who had to, what people had to go through, on their own private time to develop this, developing it for basically, nothing. But you have these companies that they get cash flow, they've got a fan base, they should have a pool of testers. Why are you going to release, a lackluster product? What's going on? So, can we trust companies, especially in our shoes, can we trust big companies like Bandai Namco to really give us what we want, or give us a polished product if they're going to do a legacy re-release? I used to encourage it and be yeah, well, we're only really doing this until we can get access to official. But is it even going to be are they even going to give us a functional game? Or is it just going to be all shit? So yeah, I don't really know. I don't feel so confident anymore in saying, oh, we're waiting for a real legacy collection. Maybe the people we should be giving credit toward, we should be directing our time and money toward, maybe those people should be, developers like Ren and the Hanmaru team. Maybe those are the people who deserve the credit and the attention, because MK players, I don't think MK players are going to experience the same problems they're having on an official collection in Arcadesia. Now, hopefully, the devs, fix it. Hopefully, MK's online legacy collection is fixed so that it can actually get a stable population, but from like somebody posted like traffic information about it, and it's automatically like in the toilet, like less than 100 people on, and like why? It shouldn't be that way. It should have been tested, should just been there. Like, why are you releasing an alpha product for when you're an expensive company? Ren doing that to test Arcadesia, it's because he doesn't really have a whole pool of people he can use to suss out all the problems. He's going to need public feedback. He's just one guy, though. But these companies, they have access to so much more, and it's very disappointing. So, when expecting a legacy collection from Bandai Namco, I think it would be far worse. So yeah, if it comes, it comes, but it's probably not going to be the smoking gun we're all looking for. I certainly don't think so. So says here for the new ARC update, which was issued, at least the news was posted 9 hours ago. 1 frame of input lag reduced in lockstep delay mode. New input handling system, and fixed an issue with old PCs unable to launch the app OpenGL compatibility label. So with TAG1 online especially, we were having a lot of strange crashes for Retrobuta. It's very clunky. Not only that, but a lot of the people, surprisingly, who are trying to play it, they have potato PCs. And because Retrobuta relies primarily on CPU usage in order to run, you get a lot of players with this, these old CPUs, they cannot run the game for like donkey shit. And so you queue into a match with them, and it's just like a lag fest. And the lower the performance of your system, the less reach you're going to be able to have to play someone else. So having the delay mode is nice. I think from what I understand too, it's like the generation of the rollback frames is kind of what like inhibits. It's when you get a good connection within like your country, it's super fucking smooth, especially now. It plays exactly like offline. It's pretty fucking nice. Let me see. I played against ISO and Phaser on Arcadesia, and it feels absolutely amazing. It feels finally leagues better than Kylera, so we're actually going somewhere. And to deal with somebody who had a bit of an inferior PC in the group, I think it was Neo, I fought him. We played in delay mode, and it was not bad. Pretty good, felt like a 4-bar, and not as taxing on his machine. So, the match ran super smooth. So, also the inclusion of delay means that you can kind of extend your reach a little bit to people who have maybe like potato PCs in Brazil and stuff. You finally play with them with the delay not being very bad. So I'll probably be doing some Tag 1 matches with Hikari, hopefully, in the near future. But yeah, again, in general, everybody at Arcadesia making some big ass moves. And Ren making big ass moves, and I think it's poignant to consider that maybe the future for Legacy is just in the hands of these indie devs. It's in the hands of these indie devs and like people like you or me that want to cultivate the scene around it manually, because maybe the spirit is just lost to these companies. Even when they want to try to get it, they just don't get it. If something is like, I don't know. I don't know. But I have like a deep fear like Bandai Namco will just shit the bed. Yeah, Jin Kojima says, yeah, MK is my second game, and I'm very disappointed with everything MK coming out these days. They're working on it. They're still working on it, but still I'm not going to buy it yet. It should have been polished from day one. Skylar says, I hope I enter in these sessions. Love OG Tekken. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, did you get the setup package yet? At least for the Arcadesia extractor and packer that we have. It's underground.exe. It'll put everything together for you. You can come online and play with us. Go to tekkenunderground.com, go to play now. You can download it. And hopefully you're in the Discord server, because I mean, we play these games like every day. I have been on a little bit of a hiatus from playing only because I've been working on new productions, new artwork for Tekken Underground. And actually, I worked on some promotional art for, I believe it was like a bar in the Netherlands. But yeah, one of our members, Bing Bong, I think, competed at a tournament there, and they reached out to me to like develop art for them, and I just made it for free. There's some like culture bar in Northern Europe, and it was a really fun experience. I like it when people come and like reach out to me and be like, hey, you know, let's make artwork together and shit like that. I just love to do it. I think it's fucking awesome. I feel like it's my way of being able to give back to the community and also to coach people in the kind of culture that I think we want to continue. So I like it when people will take pieces of Tekken Underground, like add their own flavor to it. Because I don't care, you can download the artwork, repurpose my videos. Like you don't have to give credit to me. I don't care. The only thing that I ask is that you do something creative with the resources I have. So go ahead, pull images from it, pull video footage, do what you want. Once it's on the internet, it's basically free anyway. So steal from me. Go ahead. Um, steal the work and let it be an anchor for you to try to express yourself and keep the same vibe going. So it's definitely like a communal effort where we're all like adding in whatever. And for me, it's donating my art and my time coaching players and shit like that. So I can never get enough of this. I really can't. It's just an astonishing journey for me every single time. I never get tired of it. Being able to meet all these fucking new people and explore the arts this way is you guys always hear me talk about it because I'm like a little kid. I'm always fucking excited about it all the time. And yeah, we're gonna keep fucking doing more. In lieu of my busy schedule, which is about to get busier still, I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down. Normally I do games and like go into meditation, but I think that we have had definitely enough poignant philosophy and quasi metaphysics to mill around. Definitely a lot of culture talk here with Mandarin, who I mentioned before is just a really excellent guy. He's cool as fuck, and I'll certainly be doing more with him in the future. Just so ecstatic to meet him. Can't wait to meet more because I know more of you old heads are waiting. Y'all are out there somewhere, and I don't care how fucking old you are. I don't care if you're in your 50s. Some of you are gonna start approaching your 60s. We need you. Even if you come back and drool all over the pad, or you drool all over the joystick buttons, I don't care. Bring your tapioca with you, wheel up your wheelchair. We want you back over here because you have an audience to inform. You have a culture to contribute to. So help leave a legacy behind. It to a lot of us, the involvement that we've had with Tekken up to this point was not just fleeting fun. It seems to have become a little bit more than that. Jin Kojima says, I remember when Michael Murray on stage said, quote, the Tekken 8 opening cinematic we're about to show y'all is the best Tekken intro ever, and we've worked really hard on it. Turns out to be the worst Tekken intro ever. Shit. Yeah, I totally believe it. I mean, I don't think there's anything soulful about Tekken 8's aesthetic whatsoever. It reeks of inauthenticity from the character design to the loud particle effects and the mechanics. It's just awful. If you have fun playing it, fine. But it seems like everyone in our server who also plays Tekken 8 and is vocal, they have nothing but negative things to say about it every time they hop on. Because they'll play Tekken 8 and Legacy, and they'll be in voice chat playing Tekken 8 simultaneously and just cussing at the fucking game. They don't act that way when they play Legacy, though. When they play Legacy, like, even losing comes lightly. So there's just something's just not right there. They're playing it. When they play it, it's almost like total labor. Nothing fun about it. So I mean, it's with Tekken 8, we're seeing the rise of a very peculiar kind of ugliness, and it's just yeah. Jin Kishima says it's ass. Yeah, it is. It's ass. And initially, I told Moonsault when he had me on an interview, I was like, if they release Anna, consider it. I don't want to touch it anymore. And especially too when playing Legacy Tekken and starting up Tekken Underground, I get all these fucking people that come from like everywhere. They're infinitely more interesting. Sorry, but they're infinitely more interesting people than the types of people I see in the FGC community servers and these little sterile hug box environments that you'll find on Discord and Facebook groups. I mean, they're just about the people there are about as interesting as a fucking carrot, you know, and any ounce of like sassiness or edgy personality that they might possess that they could express to be funny and uniquely endearing gets washed down in a whole bunch of moderator rules and shit like that. I don't want to be around that kind of scene. And Tekken 8 just seems to be a magnet for that kind of, no, fuck that. No. I've met infinitely more interesting people than Tekken 8's influencer crowd with, the people who are bandwagoning, all the Tekken 8 drama and the developer drama and infinitely more interesting than tracking Michael Murray and Harada's like Twitter meltdown personalities and the negative feedback e-celeb garbage and the know-it-all nostalgia clickbaiters and shit like that. Infinitely more valuable to meet people who've actually touched the games, who have been, part of the franchise since the I mean, if you want to mark the beginning, some of them since the beginning, they play Tekken's 1 and 2, but when Tekken was really in its prime or gained that kind of legendary status, infinitely more valuable insight. And I noticed that these people have just far deeper personalities, just far more insightful and inspiring too, and creative. Creative in a real way, not in a slap way. It's been a privilege this whole time, and I don't think I would get that kind of immersion if I became, interestingly enough, if I became a content creator in quotation marks for Tekken 8. I don't think I would get that kind of immersion. And if it's a smaller audience with more soul, then so be it. But I definitely think we still have a lot of journey to go before things level out because, like I said, Tekken Underground just keeps attracting attention. And there are a lot more people to meet, a lot more fun experiences to have, and hopefully a lot more offline gigs too, because we just recently had our own offline gig when Como and DJ Silly Legs came over. So it was pretty fun. I can't wait to see what's around the corner, and I hope it endures for longer. But for now, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. I got some errands that I have to run, so sorry this episode of the Mothership kind of ran awkward and disjointed, but we definitely got a really awesome guest. And yeah, Jin Kojima says, even when I lose in Classic Tekken, I can respect it because I'm having fun. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. But yeah, I'm gonna tune out. Peace, y'all.